Laura is a bureau chief in Richmond, Virginia. Nate is in Tacoma, Washington. And Joe lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. So thanks one and all. By the way, Tammy is our single bureau chief in Tyler, Texas. And I saw Tyler, Texas pop up. I think it's suburban Houston. That was the hometown of Ezra Blount. He's the 10th person to die from that Astroworld thing. He's 9 years old. Was 9 years old. He's on life support for days. And they announced, I think this morning, that he had died. That's the super sad thing about this Astroworld thing. These are all really young people. Literally, like the only person, 10 people died total. I think one or two of them was like over 25, maybe?
Crazy.
Like young people.
I didn't know 9-year-olds went to music festivals.
He was on He was on his dad's shoulders. So he brought his kid to the thing, and the dad passed out. I don't know how that happens or what happens.
Well, they were saying, I know a lot of people on Instagram and stuff were saying that, like, you were just so crammed with other people, you physically couldn't breathe. Like, you were so packed in that there was no room, there was no air, there was no nothing.
Right.
Astroworld with his dad, Tristan. His dad telling ABC 13 Stefania Coley last week in an exclusive interview that Ezra was a huge fan of Travis Scott and was excited to go see him perform. Tristan Blunt spoke with, again, Stefania just last week. Hear what he had to say.
The countdown started. Everything was cool for a split second.
Now his dad held Ezra high on his shoulders, but when the crowd started pushing, Tristan lost consciousness and Ezra fell to the ground and was trampled. When Blunt came to, he went to the medical tent to try and find his son. An officer later showed Tristan a photo.
The picture that they sent me was
Well, we don't need to hear this guy cry over his kid, but I mean, obviously he's devastated. But yeah, so that's the 10th person, I think, in this whole Astroworld thing, and there are already something in the neighborhood of 100 lawsuits that have been filed over this. But I wonder why you lose consciousness when the crowd starts moving. I wonder what that was all about.
It's just too many people.
You ever been at a show where you just pass out because you're in the crowd? You have?
Absolutely. It used to happen routinely when I was young. Because I just get all worked up and jump up and down.
But the dad passed out.
Well, yeah, but when you're in a crush, it's hard to breathe. I mean, it compresses. It sucks.
My dad falls asleep at lots of things.
Well, he hasn't not that kind of.
He goes into a vertical coma.
Yeah, and then, he's not standing up either. He's just sitting there.
Well, I remember you telling me, and this was only a couple of years ago. Bill and his dad went to a Gordon Lightfoot show, and Bill was on his dad's shoulders, and his dad just crumpled. Man. He crumpled like a sack. And we were like, dude, maybe don't do that next time. I mean,
he did pretty well for a while. I mean, he's got
45
that core
seconds.
Strength. Well, he's got that core strength from laying brick all those years.
That's true.
So he did. It was a little longer than 45 seconds.
Yep.
I'm a big guy, so I was impressed.
Yeah, I guess.
I was just trying to see, man. Gordon's great.
Well, and what's awful about shows like this, too, is how far back. You think, because there were some concerts where, like, if you're in the front against the gate, you're going to get crushed. I don't know why anybody wants to be up there. At an outdoor festival. We're not talking a club.
Yeah.
Where you look, there's an exit not far away, right? You're talking an outdoor festival where there's tens of thousands of people. But you think, okay, right up against that front gate. The crazy thing is how far back these people were and still in, like, this imminent danger,
Well, and like Corey said to his point, which I know he's on the phone right now, but like when you get all worked up and like your breathing gets shallow on its own, you're already not getting enough oxygen to your brain. So like if you're starting to panic and then your body's doing that fight or flight, and then from there...
And he's worried about his kid, I guess.
Right, there's actual physical restraints as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this was a big dude, too, so it's like, hey, Sarah, what's going on?
Hey, guys. I just thought since you can't do a Hey Poundcake, what band is this contest? How about a contest with you and Corey seeing who can hit the best post?
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with
post
this.
off?
Well, Corey's a better DJ than I am. Like, that's a skill to, like, do that, and I haven't had that skill for a long, long time.
Well,
what song?
Something you both know well.
I was going to say, everybody think, I know it's a running joke, Alan, can you hit the post? I still get calls on the after hours line. It's like, I don't know every song ever. That's kind of, I don't know. What's a song we both know?
Rat in a Cage.
You mean
Smashing
bullet with butter? That's a cold open.
There you go.
That's a cold open now.
You've all figured it out.
There's no ramp.
So that's
ramp
just
on
who
that.
does it
I got
faster.
the world
Yeah.
is a ramp.
Rat a cage. Smashing Pumpkins. 100% WMMS.
I'll take it under advisement, Sarah. Thank you. Oh, she's gone. Hey, Dean.
Hey, Alan, how are you?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I was just wanted to comment about the guy and his child dying at that concert. Remember when we were going to concerts back in the day? Because I'm a metalhead, just like you. We were never getting crushed, and I've been in front of the pit, in the front and everything, man.
Yeah, but Dean, that's what I was just talking about. We saw shows at clubs. We weren't in an outdoor festival with 70,000 people. I mean, they do those metal festivals overseas, Rock in Rio or whatever. You'd have to see, aerial photography with a helicopter, and there's 100,000 people that Metallica's playing for. And they might have that figured out. But we weren't even joking when we were talking about it last week. The Juggalos have the gathering every year, and this doesn't happen. So I don't think they have 70,000 people there. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, all the shows I went to were like at arenas. And again, even when I was a young man going to shows, I was not a front row guy. Like, I saw what happened. I would have friends getting, like, beat up and cracked in the head. I'm like, man, I just want to see the band. I love the band. I don't need some dude's ball sack in my face because he's crowd surfing. I don't need that, man. I just want to see the band. And
I went to Day on the Green, you know what I mean, in Oakland and all that. And we did, Monsters of Rock. It was all outdoors, but it was still never like that. I was even at that. When Tesla shot the Love Song video, that was a hot day. And everybody and their mama was there. I still never got crushed.
Well, Dean, I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad it all worked out.
Well, that's why they're saying this is such a different situation, because normally they set it up and people don't get crushed at these.
This sounds like a lot of safety protocols where they're overlooked it's not just a matter of, oops, some people, it sounds like some structural integrity of the staff or who knows. They're going to be digging into this for the next 5 years, Dean.
Well, I hope they do.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks, man. And everybody else, speaking of Coach Dookie Puke, have you watched the Brass Against video?
Mm-mm.
Oh, the
girl pees on the guy's face?
I didn't watch the video, but I saw some screenshots of it, and she's pretty cute.
She's very cute. She's engaged. Lady. She's engaged to a Peloton instructor. She's a lesbian. Oh, yeah? She's engaged to this foxy Peloton. They're both hot. This girl's like a curly-haired J-Lo. So this band Brass Against, which is a god-awful band. We've played them as a goof in years past. They're just a band that does horn covers of rock songs, which is always like super lame to me. I know some people dig it. It's not for me. But this band's gone out and opened for Tool. Like, they've been around for a bit. But it basically sounds like if your college marching band was playing Rage Against the Machine. That's what it sounds like. Some people like it because they go, oh, haha, it's so... 20 years ago when Richard Cheese was doing this, it was funny. But now there's like bands on YouTube that are like, it's a 40s version of Iron Maiden, get it? I don't find that entertaining or funny.
It's kitschy. It's stuff like the Two Cellos guys where they'll
Apocalyptica.
Do
play Metallica songs.
Yeah, they'll play Metallica songs, and they're fun to watch on YouTube, but I don't think I'd ever go see one of those things live. And you wouldn't ever expect these kind of kitschy bands to be the band doing this.
Well, you have to get stuff if you're this band... all they've got going for them is this girl. Everybody's looking at this girl because everybody else is a guy playing a horn and a drummer. So you got to do something to get people paying attention to you. But my thing is, I think it's pretty safe to say audiences are pretty shock-proof now. If you go to a show, how are you going to shock people? Like, I don't even know that people care about something like that at a show. Anyway,
picking on a dude will get people's attention.
Well, it absolutely did. The band,
that works.
The band released this like really kind of terse and sanitized tweet apology. This was at the Rockville. It's Welcome to Rockville. It's the festival. And they're trying to get everybody's attention away from this now, so they've already announced the lineup for next year. They're like, we got Foo Fighters and Korn and Guns N' Roses, But this is in Daytona Beach, and Brass Against played on the first night of the festival. I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so this girl, the singer, what's her name? Sophia somebody. The tweeted apology was, we had a great time at Rockville. Sophia got carried away. That's not something the rest of us expected, and it's not something you'll see again at our shows. Thanks for bringing it last night, Daytona. That was there. So it's a combination of people going, I've never heard of this band, but now I need to watch this video. And then you hear the music, and you're like, this is the most interesting thing about this band. The girl, the singer, I think she was on one of the singing TV shows, somebody told me. Anyway, the singer says, I got to go to the bathroom. She's looking around, there's no bucket or whatever. And they're in the middle of a set. And trust me when I tell you, we've played them before on the show. They're doing horn covers of rock songs. So if that sounds like something you're into, because like you said, it's kitschy, and people go see them, and the girl's real cute.
And she's making it part of the performance. I appreciate that. She's kind of dancing, and then she just, wow.
Sophia Urista is the singer, and she said she had to go to the bathroom. See, this whole thing seemed set up to me, because who's the guy? The guy volunteers to go up there, and he lies down on his back, and she
really did have to go.
She drops her pants and squats over his face, and she is like a fire hose, this one. It's not like a little trickle. She like unloads in this guy's face at the front of the stage. And the guy gets up and he's pumping his fist. He's wiping his face off.
Yeah.
He did a spit take, for God's sake. Yeah. And everybody's like, what is this? What am I looking at? Why this band? The whole thing felt really set up to me between her and the guy. I believe the band probably didn't know anything about it. But I guarantee their spins are going to go through the roof today. People are going to be checking out Brass Against. But the band has...
if it was consensual between the two of them,
I agree.
don't have any problem with it.
I agree. It's just a really weird band. You know, back in the day, people bring up G.G. Allen. I don't know if you guys remember G.G. Allen.
Yeah.
He was this guy...
Gross.
Yeah, he was this guy who basically... he was a hardcore drug addict, and it wasn't really music. He had a backing band, but they sucked. And he would just come out on stage buck naked, or he'd come out in like a biker hat and a trench coat. I saw him one time. I saw him do a show about 2 weeks before he died. He died of a heroin overdose. And because I was assigned to go there, the show I was working on producing for at the time said, you're going to go, because I was like part little stunt boy too. So I go, you're going to go interview G.G. Allen. I'm like, the hell I am going to go interview. He's not going to let me sit there and interview him, right? So I said, well, maybe, because I knew he had a penchant for running around the venues and chasing people. So literally, G.G. Allen,
I know, but that's just,
he would.
It was G.G. Allen and the...
chased by someone, you turn around, it's the headliner, you're just like, ah!
But that's why people like go, like that was what the allure was. It was, but like he'd chase you with poop though.
Oh, gross.
He would change the name of his band. So it was G.G. Allen and the Scum Fs. I think I saw him as G.G. Allen and the Toilet Rockers. And this was a guy who didn't give a crap about anything, right? He'd be on stage. He'd light the American flag on fire. He'd like pee on his bandmates. He'd cut himself with glass, whatever. Because there's no music there. He would walk out with like a book of quote unquote lyrics, scream them in the microphone, whatever. So it was like a full on.
It was performance art.
It was a punk rock show in the strictest sense of that word. So I realized quickly that the security they had in front of the stage was to keep him on, not the crowd away.
Right.
Because you didn't have any kind of pit, because the place I saw him in, this is June of 93. He died about 2 weeks later. And they had a full-on, what you would normally look at and think that it was like an orchestra pit section. So there was nobody up against the stage. But this guy, he'd walk out, put a turkey baster in his ass. He'd like poop all over the stage. He's clearly eating laxatives before the show. I mean, and they'd start whipping it at the crowd and jumping off the stage and running around. I'm like, I got to get the hell out of here. I'm like,
People were into this.
Well, it was a lot of dudes. I mean,
well, yeah.
No, it's not a good date night, is what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying that like there were, because
maybe a first date.
In addition to what the show really was, there was all this urban legend around him too. Like, if you're a girl, he's going to pull you up there and force you to like perform oral favors on him. It's like, no, that's not going to happen, right? But he would punch dudes in the face. So there were guys, that were really hardcore that would go see G.G. Allen. And I'm a $120 soaking wet at the time, so I'm like, I'm not running, but you could see the crowd going in a circle with him chasing people and throwing poop.
I just see that, like, if
that's a show. This girl that gets a guy who's like, yeah, I'll come up and do it, pees on his head, okay. I mean, you certainly don't see it very often in rock and roll anymore, but back in the day, it was like,
It's basically Blackie Lawless and his whole shtick with Wasp, right?
I guess so, but
That's what this band needs to do is make it a gimmick in their shows going forward. Only make it like sparklers or Roman candles or something.
The guy's like, I'm up there playing the sousaphone, man. I didn't know I needed to be covered in costume blood the whole time from here on out.
This Gigi Allen show, I see a guy taking me. Is like, I just quick question before we go into this concert. How fast are you? Excuse me? What?
Yeah. So Gigi Allen, I mean, that guy was like the apex predator of bands you'd go see for the experience because you didn't know what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, there was this huge Rolling Stone article about what an awful human being Marilyn Manson is, or rather, he's exactly the guy he's told you he's been for 30 years. And they're talking of like 55 women who were like, he would whip me and blah, blah, blah. So there's this big, long Rolling Stone article in the new issue about Marilyn Manson. But whether it's him or Gigi Allen, you're like giving a stage and a microphone to mentally ill junkies. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so sooner or later, you're going to get
a mentally ill junkie.
Doing something. So this girl, it makes for a fun video. And by the way, I would recommend you watch that video because it's fun. Because people are like, oh, she just tinkles a little bit. No, she does not. Nope.
She didn't want to wait in line.
Yeah.
Nope.
She looks like a horse.
Yeah.
A camel.
She's like Seabiscuit after he gets off the track. Yeah, but she's real cute. And, her wife or her fiance is super cute. She's a Peloton instructor. And so, but again, I think the band stinks. I think it's kind of a lame gimmick, but some people are really into it, and that's fine. But a band like that, you got to get people paying attention to you. But that's a weird way to do it.
That's a weird way to do it.
These days, people, you get in the news because you said something somebody didn't like, right? But they've Tool's taken them out. I don't know what the appeal is there. I mean, But I keep waiting for somebody to go, she did this at a show I saw.
Yeah, right.
I'm waiting for this to be not the first time, but I'm sure it is because the band was like... And if you watch the video, the band doesn't look all that surprised. Maybe they're just playing along because they're not going to stand there and go, what is going on right now? The one guy does lean forward and pull the microphone away so they don't electrocute themselves when she's letting fly on top of this dude.
Safety first.
Yeah, but the guy stands up and he's as happy as a guy who just got peed on stage.
He had a great time.
Oh, he had a fantastic time. Because he got up there first with like a GoPro on his head. Mm-hmm. And you can see her tell him to take it off or move it or something.
Is it waterproof?
So, I used to have one. I thought they were. He clearly wanted to get the experience. But imagine that view. You're lying there and you voluntarily have gone up on stage.
I mean,
and she's squatting over your face. She wasn't wearing a skirt. She's wearing like stage pants.
She's wearing like white
pants.
pants.
Pulls them down, squats right onto this guy's face, lets fly, and he's having the time of his life.
I've seen that. I've been in that position with a girl.
Consensual.
Freudian slip.
I think that's a good way to say it. Like consensual.
Yeah.
It means consensual sex.
Yeah.
I think it's like I've been in that position, so it's a good view. Like I don't mind that view. I've never had a girl peed on me though.
Oh,
so we've all had the view. I'm talking about like you need windshield wipers on your eyes.
You all had that view?
Yes.
Not okay. No. That's different. Someone standing, squatting over your face is different than like her taking charge up there. Those are two different things. Standing and squatting
yes,
when you're on the ground?
Yeah. What's your point?
I'm saying that's a different... I've never done that. And that surprises me that you're all like, we've all...
But you are aware that it gets done.
I'm thinking of these as two very different things.
They can be. We're
like
just saying...
one is like sexy and your hands are kind of like on her legs.
No, what we're saying is...
Yeah.
I'm saying a girl just...
What we're saying is...
squatting.
Minus the pee, Bill and I have both been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
Right. So, but
weird.
Still, I wonder if this guy voluntarily, he was close enough to get up there. The whole thing looked planted to me. I don't know. It's a festival show. Maybe they have the same manager as Travis Scott. And he's like, look, I got to get some of this heat off me. I need to be off the front page. Will you guys do something at a festival? So if you went to that, we've got bureau chiefs, and this is Daytona, the Welcome to Rockville. I think it's the same people, the same promoters that do Sonic Temple, do this thing called Welcome to Rockville. And Brass Against, boy. Suffice to say, as Poundcake would say, that they got all the attention from this past weekend. But if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's pretty wild. And R.I.P. Gigi Allen. It's good while he lasted. I got to take a break. I'll have another 30, about 30 past, another $1,000 for you. So at 3:30, listen for that keyword to go fund yourself. And coming back here, I will have those passes for you. A carload pass for the Magic of Lights, which starts up the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds. That's a nice annual tradition. Starts Thanksgiving Eve through the holidays. So we'll do that coming back. 35192 if you want to text.